What's going on out the door?
Well, hoping we get some snow here
Hoping.
in Tahoe.
You are a meteorologist, right?
Yeah, well, you never know.
Out the door. So you want to be a meteorologist, huh? It is a not easy profession. We thought a storm was coming in here last night, and it's been on our doorstep now for 12 hours. Apparently, the Sierra Range is a little taller off to our west, and the precipitation's gotten hung up out there.
Oh, it's snowing on top of the mountain, though, right now.
Yeah, and you can see yesterday, all those trees up there were all covered with snow yesterday, and now look, the snow is gone. So, frustration is bi-coastal this morning in Boston. It's been pouring rain here in Truckee, California. It's been raining, and the rain-snow line is going to collapse both into Boston and Truckee just about the same time. Noontime Boston, probably as you're watching this, and probably about lunchtime here in California too, which is 3 hours later. So it's really difficult trying to analyze two different storms that are each frustrating me equally. Why don't we take a moment here and remember 1 year ago today, it was a beautiful day in Vermont, but a very sad day in the weather world. But we go on. Mish's good friend Jim Cantore driving through Lenox, Massachusetts this morning. He says there's a foot of snow, but it's feeling like about 2 inches of rain on the road. We're going to have slurpy waves on the roads of New England, especially where it's been raining. Well, where it's been raining. In Boston, real intense band of snow coming in on top of close to 2 inches of rain last night. Just can't imagine trying to travel on I-95, Boston to Providence, if people went to work, what it's going to be like when it looks and feels like a blizzard. Only for a few hours, though. What's happening, it was a double-barreled low-pressure system. One on the coast of Connecticut, kind of locking in the warmth last night. Even in Concord, New Hampshire, Keith loves snow. He says only 4 inches. And the Lakes region, skunked. Meanwhile, these deformation bands just nailing Vermont, snowing close to 2 inches an hour at J-Peak. The guidance had 8 inches of snow. We already had 8 inches when the sun came up, well, shortly after the sunrise this morning. And Mitch, near Reedsboro, Vermont, passing 2 feet of snow. What good is all that snow, though, if electricity is out? It's going to end up being power out for hundreds of thousands, probably lingering for thousands into next week. Hope you stocked up on your Guinness and cabbage and beef and cabbage dinners, and you can cook them on the grill. I know, try and bring levity to a serious situation. I really don't like forecasting weather that causes pain and sometimes hardship for people, but they've experienced it here in California. We're experiencing in New England. It's coast to coast. So in New England, you're probably just pretty much calling the play-by-play. We have not bombogenesis, but cyclogenesis, is that Connecticut low hands off the energy, and we have a cutoff low forming. And that low is forecast to do a loop in the Gulf of Maine, deepening down to 975. So the worst of the weather is actually this afternoon and evening in eastern Massachusetts. But these deformation bands, these heavy bands like the one moving through northern Vermont this morning, are impossible to predict. But they go out to the outer perimeter of the upper level cutoff. So that's why in Vermont, we're having twice as much snow as New Hampshire. Almost like, just picture a figure skater spinning tight and then opening his or her arms, and those waves of energy go out. That's what's happening with these bands of snow, and you never know where they're going to set up. But we still have all afternoon and night with this low. I mean, the heaviest bands of snow will be decaying but not completely gone until tomorrow, and it looks like the last of the snow will be in Vermont. So some of these mountains in Vermont are going to come in past 36 inches, I would guess. As for Boston, I would say probably about 6 to 8 inches, but it's on top of this couple of inches of rain, not matching that April Fool's nor'easter where we had 3 inches of rain, then 20 inches of snow. Call it about a third of that, but definitely hardship for travelers and people without electricity. And the wind is still ramping up. Expect a couple of hours of winds gusting 40 to 50 with blizzard-like conditions, but probably not verifying for 3 hours in a row in eastern Massachusetts. Love the birds. And the system that's now in California is going to come across the nation. Guidance has been all over the place, but it looks like it could be another probably front coming in with mixed precipitation here Friday or so, and then that front stalls with perhaps the third or fourth nor'easter of this month of March 2023 coming at us next week. And even after that, the pattern is locked and loaded. Whenever you see that deep trough in the southwest, cold in Canada, ridge in the southeast, you know there's going to be future trouble. And even in Florida, it looks like there's some extended weather coming in with a cold front finally breaking the heat, but not eliminating it. After all, the sun's getting higher in the sky every day. Just an amazing weather pattern. Yesterday, I kept thinking the storm was about to arrive. It was a blast. I was one of the first people on the backside express chair. It hadn't been open since last week, so I was out there. Real heavy snow, but if you balance just right and you got some legs, it was freshies all afternoon. The tree wells are a real danger, but the density of the snow has eased that danger a little bit because I got close to a tree and I got stuck a little bit for a few minutes. Anyhow, yeah, Weir is out here. NorLun, Mr. Lund. He says, no, that's not a NorLun trough this morning. Thank you for asking, Jot. This is more to do with a larger, more synoptic scale system than a mesoscale system, and the cold air aloft is there, but it's just not a pool of instability. It's too hard to explain, especially after I've just fried so many brain cells trying to tell you what's going on. And there is some wind, so I'm not sure if we're going to make it to the top today, so we might get back out there later today if we can, and then tomorrow some more highlights from this California storm and all the misery or joy that you're experiencing in New England in this 2 to 3 day major nor'easter in the northeast. All right, leave you with some scenes of mostly fun yesterday. Oh, first one from today from Ross Budd in Francistown, New Hampshire. No electricity, no chairlifts, but that didn't stop him. Okay, first Ross. Thanks, Ross, and then me.
All right, Weir. I found a new camera, man. Using my camera.
Ran into a couple of other people, but most of us that are in here are just kind of in a state of disbelief that this is sitting here. I wonder if I can make a video holding my phone. It's a lot of work. Okay, go somewhere where no one else is going. Yeah, like this. So here's the drift. Look at that. Whoa. So I think snowboarders are probably having a better time. People on really fat skis. Let's see if we can go find somebody. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, fatter the better on the board today. I must have been one of the first people up this lift since last week. Elevation 8617. Just missed a wind. That drift probably about 4 or 5 feet. I think we should go down here and do a drift analysis. Texture check. Iron Horse and Polaris. All right, we'll stop and check this one. Wasn't really voluntary. Looks like about 2 or 3 feet. And tree wells are a real thing. Now, thankfully, I am not stuck, hopefully, too badly in a tree well. But I've heard of boarders going upside down on these things and not being able to get out. I will get out, even if it takes a while. Yeah, didn't really mean to get myself in this situation. It's all good though. I'll make it. I don't know whether being smaller is an advantage or not. All right, this is where I was just stuck. Well, not that stuck. North Star, giving lessons. Anyhow, I'm sure they're giving lessons on what to do if you get caught in one of these drifts. So while I'm here, why don't I just check it out? So this is like a perma-drift. I mean, after all, I think the base depth here really is in the order of something like 10 feet. So I'm not going to do what I did at Mount Mansfield. Objects in lens much larger than they appear. Scenic views in there. I should go in just to look out the window.
I went to a dietitian.
All right, gonna make a run for it. Smoking Views and Barbecue open today. Apparently there's some traffic control issues here too. All right, no problem. One way. There's the ski rats. I knew they were around here somewhere. She's out the door. All right, let's look out the window. Skiing and surfing, best libation.